Hello, I'm Indy War and I am playing Frontier Pilot Simulator. It's a little indie company. From what I can gather, there's about 3, maybe 4 people working on the game. And they have produced this fantastic looking game. At the moment, I've got all the settings turned up onto maximum to try and give it them the best experience you're going to see. And it still runs at approximately 30 FPS, which is fantastic. Now the game did try to go through Steam Greenlight, and Steam has shut down Steam Greenlight. So whether this game comes to Steam or not, I do not know. However, to begin with, a few pointers. There is no options menu apart from the one that you get when you first load the game up. Now this game is pre-alpha. If you look up in the top left hand corner where it says F1 help, you can see it's a gameplay demo version 0.6.30. It's pre-alpha. This game is basically a working concept, and it is already kinda polished. Now what do I mean by this? I mean it's got full controller support straight off the bat. The thing will work with my Xbox controller quite happily. It will work with my Xbox One Elite controller. Got pretty good layout for the keyboard and whatnot. And it does handle really well for a pilot simulator, wherever one of them is. Personally, I'd consider something like No Man's Sky or Pushing It Elite Dangerous as a pilot simulator because you're the pilot. This is more of a flying simulator because you are the aircraft. So there's a slight variation. However, like I said, it's pre-alpha. We don't know what's coming in the game. So, onto the flight mechanics. As you can see, we've got the controller support. F1 brought that up. Just in case you're wondering, F1 is the help. It's the only real other options dialogue we've got at this point in the game. In the future, we've got an upgrades console and a cargo console, but we'll get into that then. You may have noticed no mouse control. So for today, I'm going to be using the keyboard. We don't need to touch the mouse whatsoever, which is kind of bizarre. Using the joypad, you do get control of the camera. But for the first run, I'm going to use the keyboard, show you how it handles with just the keyboard. You probably hear the hammering of the keys, and then I'm going to swap over to the controller to show you the difference in support. But please bear in mind it is pre-alpha. So engage engines, hit space. And it handles like a drone, like you would expect a drone. We've got these 4 engines on each side, and they all react pretty much the same. And you can reverse, you can slow down. Excellent animation on the various parts. So as you can see, you see the air flaps pop up there. You see everything moving. Every part of the ship seems to move and feel alive, which is something you don't often see in these type of pre-alpha games. You normally end up with very static models. So they've got the ship, the way the ship handles and moves is fantastic. Ooh, came down a bit heavy then. You can taxi around while you're on here. You're very slow, but you can move around quite freely. But that's it. That is the be all and end all to this game. Is you fly up, go somewhere, you land. You fly up, you go somewhere, you land. Doesn't sound like a lot. Now we do have trading in the game. Like I said, we're at the loading dock. It says right there in the center. We've got the hangar we can go to where we can get repairs and upgrades. Down in this bottom part, we have this entire area dedicated to basically ship health. It's a little blended into the background at the moment. Hopefully they will fix that. Same with all the rest of these icons. They're all very faded in until you need them, and then they come up nice, bright and yellow. And as you can see, they all map to the keyboard. However, and this is one of the best functions that I think they've got into the game at the moment, I'm now swapping from the keyboard to my joypad. As you can see, all of that context has suddenly updated, so instead of being X button to go into that menu, it's now A. I can pick up goods, and then I go back. It will then should tell me how to start my engines, but it's not. Normally it'll tell you how to start your engines. For the controller, it is the right trigger. We'll start the engines up. We've got a delivery marker already set, so we can fly there. And your ship is already noticeably heavier. You can actually feel that within the flight simulator itself. So we'll turn around and we'll go to that delivery marker. Now, as a flight simulator, it is a fantastic feeling game. One of the reasons why it's a fantastic feeling game is if I press Y on my controller now, as it's telling me, the wind mapping, we get all these wonderful looking arrows suddenly pop up on the screen. And this is basically the game mapping the wind around the mountain and show me basically what would be a brilliant looking flight path. And, you know, as I came around that mountain then and hit this wind, my ship suddenly started to fly a bit more erratically as it's trying to fight the wind for me. As well as me trying to fight the wind, it's trying to do it as well. We'll get over to this mining facility over here. We'll turn that off. Very useful to have on just to know which way the wind's going, because you can ride the wind currents. And you can go completely like flightless like this. Just fly the wind currents. Right, we're coming into land here. So, at the moment this is also complete VTOL mode. You do have an aeroplane mode, which I have not unlocked yet. I am sad to say. We'll try to come in a bit gentler here. Your landing gear automatically deploys. There we go. Now we can trade over that and we can buy in something new. And this is be all and end all of the game. Now I can hit down, we get cargo. I can then hit up on the D-pad and it will unload the cargo for me. You don't have to do this, but this means I can drop cargo off. It's not going to be valuable. I can come pick it up at a later date. Hopefully, yeah, there. 3P arms. Like I said, pre-alpha, a lot of the visuals are not rendered. As you saw coming into this base, it was just a big grey mass until I started getting a bit closer. Lots of work still needs to be done. But the base game, it's got its core principles in place, which is basically I'm a flight simulator, look at me fly. Now if we load up the map, we can zoom out on the map, and this is basically our play area. Yes, you can fly all the way out here. Yes, I have flown all the way out here. It gets a bit boring. Simple as. But you can do it. The further out you go, the more you hit this repeating tile pattern. But, you know, you're not going to make it that far out. Not unless you start rolling across, and it's not very easy to roll across there. Doable, just not easy, not one bit. You want to stick to your main game area. It's big enough already, trust me on this. Now I've got magnetite ore. It's a basic trading game. You zoom in a bit. You start looking for where magnetite ore is required. Personally, I think they could do away with a bit of this. So it says magnetite ore in plastic container units. It's just magnetite ore. I don't care what it's stored in. Personally. You know, product A is going to that. Now this also doesn't have anything available, but this does. But this doesn't want, oh no, this does want the magnetite ore in plastic container units. So we plot to the metal refinery. We'll go over there. Now the game is still pretty much in, because I've started this new save game, in tutorial mode. So it's going to tell me to go other places, but I'm going to ignore that for now. So, some downsides to the flight mechanics. Like I said, I've only unlocked the VTOL mode, which is vertical takeoff and landing, which is, you know, this. There is like an aircraft mode where you get pitch up, pitch down and stuff like that. I've just not unlocked it yet. Now, my biggest bugbear with VTOL in this is I've got no strafe. I can't strafe around this mountain. Even though the thrusters look like, and half the time do point in them directions, they simply won't let me strafe around. I don't know if this is an upgrade that you can unlock later on in the game. I kind of hope so. We'll bring up the wind map, because yeah, look, I'm fighting the wind and you can see the screen shaking, the ship's shaking as it tries to battle against that wind and get into this dead zone. But it definitely feels like it's something that's lacking. Now in aircraft mode I could understand not having strafe, but in VTOL mode it's a bit weird. Now the other thing that you can do with the Xbox pad is I can look around the ship, which makes it a lot easier to like look around and stuff. So level of detail loading, you can see that's where I want to land over there. Big grey blob. And as we get closer, everything loads in. Now, pre-alpha game, you expect this kind of thing. And once you do get close in, you know, everything does start to become a lot clearer. Quite quickly. But, on the other hand, you do want... Hopefully, it will all, like, render a lot better. You do want it nice and clear. Now, I could go for landing zone 1 there. Or I can go for landing zone 2 over here, which is the one I'm going to go for, because then I'm close to the hangar. We can see a bit of taxiing, which is something that I think they really do need to improve. Let's see if I can get a softer landing than what I've been doing so far. There we go. So, bit of helpful information there. Get some new wings as soon as you can because of the storm density. You've got your fuel on the right there, as well as your altitude meters, your velocity, overload. I've never actually seen anything overload yet. So what we will do is we're going to sell that and we're going to pick that up. Don't know where that's going yet. And then we have a look. This is one of the reasons why I've swapped the joypad. If I turn left and right, you can literally see the wheels turning. The attention to detail these guys have put into the model, just the model itself, is unreal. Also, I feel there may have been an update because the first time I tried taxiing, it wasn't as fast as or responsive as this. I may be wrong, but either way, that feels a lot better than it has before. As we can see, the context up there has changed to A for the hangar. I hit A. If I was on keyboard, it would show the relevant keyboard command. And we get spooky looking arm come out. And we'll take us into the hangar, and I'll show you around the hangar for a little bit. Now, a lot of this still needs work. A lot of it is bare bones, not very descriptive. It doesn't show me like what damage I have on my ship in this menu. None of these numbers make a lick of sense until you start really delving into the game as well. But I can hit X to repair, and that will just repair the entire ship. It's not going to care. Also, there's a bit of grammar and spelling mistakes, such as left stick X to select upgrade, A to buy or sell, and B to exit. They've obviously hit enter at some point in that, and it's all kind of jammed up in that corner. Again, pre-alpha, they're going to fix this kind of stuff. Personally, from what I've witnessed so far, I'd say buy the game if it was like £10. However, you know, it is pre-alpha, and I know a lot of people are averse to that, and that's perfectly fine. So I can upgrade my wings. I've got wings base, and I'm assuming I have got about 4 tons free. Now my wings already weigh 1.5, so if I'm getting rid of them and upgrading, even up to the standard, we're looking at like basically using up 1.5. I'm thinking of going for the power for the wing force. Don't know what that does really. It's got the same amount of hit points, which is I'm assuming is the wine glass symbol. It should only add 500 grams to... I mean, that doesn't even sound right. 500 grams. But it's not 500 kilograms because it's done at 26.5 kilo weight. So I honestly don't know what the weight units are. Anything like that. But I can afford these wings, so I'm going to buy them wings. That's nearly all my money gone. If you look, it's not actually increased my minimum, it's increased my maximum. Which is a bit weird. But maybe I get more force, but something else has changed. I don't know. Also, repair my ship for 99 credits. So we'll come out of here. Let the creepy arm take me back out. I think once they get some textures, some materials on some of these things, they're going to look fantastic. And you can also see the wing model itself has changed.
Hey partner, how about a feel to the next installation? Pleasure doing business with you.
Right, so now we can VTOL to high altitude cruising mode. Left stick button. See you later. I swear it said we had someone to pick up as well. Sorry, that was all done in the bottom right hand corner. Bottom left hand corner's got my cargo and if I've got a passenger or not. There are passenger missions. So we've got purified cerium plates. So we can now go to the space hub, which has just been unlocked. Where we won't make as much money as the water installation. We'll go over to the space hub, mostly because there's something cool at the space hub that I want to kind of show. So hold right trigger to start engine. We'll get moving over here a little bit. Once we start hitting a bit of altitude, I'll hit that left stick because I don't know what the left stick's going to do. Oh wow. Here we go then. So this is aeroplane mode. Where I suddenly got pitch. And I turned my engine off. Don't turn your engine off. We'll also lose the cargo. There's the passenger, look, he's at the other hangar. So this is the death animation. Still kind of cool, you know, you skateboard, you come down. Don't know if I keep my shape or not. That was just kind of bad.
Mayday, all frequencies, please respond. I repeat, mayday. Beacon coordinates follow.
We got a mayday request. Turns out I'll keep my wings. No idea if I'm going to be able to go pick up that cargo container. When you die, you do drop your cargo. If it's on rough terrain, good luck getting it back. And 9 times out of 10, if you've crashed on well, full stop, you're going to be on rough terrain. So, we'll take off again. Actually, we need some cargo first. We've got some more plates. Got quite a few plates, but I can only take one at a time because I've only got enough money for one. Destination. We're going to the space hub still. Also, we've now got a distress beacon. SOS. The are worth doing. It can be tricky because you can't refuel there. So you've really got to manage your fuel there and back. I haven't done a successful one yet. Bear in mind, this is the first time I've also hit the spaceplane mode. So you might be able to get bigger fuel tanks, better engines, all of that jazz. So, again, we'll hit some altitude. There's my old cargo box. I'm not sure if I'll be able to pick that up or not, but it'll be very interesting to see where it is. No, I'm not going to be able to pick that up. Oh. I might give that another go later. We will see. So, hammering the engine button to try and get my altitude back up. It feels technical and arcadey at the same time. It's one of the most bizarre feelings I've ever had because it does respond to a lot of different factors. Right. And remember to leave my engine switched on this time. But I'm trying to use this mode, try and gain a lot more height. Whoa! And we've got volcanoes. They're the big up arrows that you see. Trying to get a good eye on a volcano exploding. And they will throw you around like a ragdoll. They'll cause you massive amounts of damage. They are great fun to fly through if you need a bit of a boost. And as you can see, all the dust particles and everything in the air. Wind is knocking me off course like crazy. Coming in rather fast as well. It makes flying incredibly difficult, but incredibly fun. Definitely a game I recommend using a pad for. If this thing does not release on consoles, I would be severely surprised. But this load was rather heavy. Which is why I was having a bit of trouble docking there. We'll sell them. Get some serious money here. Back out of here. There should be a big ship kicking around here somewhere that I was going to go show off. But either way, we are flying into this thing. Just to show you the ragdoll. Well, not the ragdoll as much, but... Right, this now engines are off. Massive boost. Massive amounts of damage to my fuel tank though. Ah, there it is. Just swap out of VTOL mode into plane mode. Know your control. All pitch and roll. We'll swap back. We'll give this thing a good look. So as we can see, this has not been textured, but it's already in the game. You can't dock here, there's nothing to do here. I just wanted to show it off. But you can already see the guys have got some great ideas. Turn the wind mapping off. I'm not even sure if I can dock on this. I've not tried. How that come to think about it. The landing keys. Nope, can't dock on it. It just treats it as terrain. I think. Am I docked on that? Oh yeah, I'm docked on that. Well, above that. Like, well above that. But it shows you what they've got planned for the game. I like to think of it as a Subnautica for the air. Go straight into plane mode from here. You can land in plane mode. I've not tried it yet. And away we go. I don't know if I flew too high then or what happened. Don't know if there is a flight limit. Yep, seems to be a flight limit. Very fun game. Even just flying around like this. Right, we got that delivery marker there. I'm going to try and head towards. Which does mean I need to pull up a little bit. Flying around in VTOL mode is the most easiest, but if you want to get somewhere quick, plane mode is definitely the way to go. Otherwise you might end up doing something like this and having to come to a stop. Ah, there's the marker, look. But if you're into flight simulators, you're into things like this, definitely keep your eyes on this one. Right, we're descending rather quickly there. Also, have a go at landing. I think this place was a bit too small to do a landing on. But still rather cool. As things get damaged as well, you can kind of... Also, you may have just saw the guy animation there. So we'll refuel. Lower the ramp, I'm not riding topside. A little animation there. Run into your hold. As we can see, I'm on 40% hull. The ship is smoking. 61% like fuel. Which I'm just going to assume is your fuel tank. The KI deep mining. There it is. Set. Don't really have a runway at this place. But once we hit some altitude, we will switch to flight. I don't think I'm going to make it up this mountain. Nope. Ah, well. So, this is Frontier Pilot Simulator. It's a really fun game. If you enjoy your flight simulators, I do suggest giving it a go. Thank you for watching, guys. I've been ND War, and goodbye.